Then we will discuss the approaches. Then we will discuss Industry 4.0. Then nanoethics. After nanoethics, we will discuss nanotechnology in healthcare. Then 3D printing and 4D printing. Then graphene and carbon nanotube. Generations of nano product and Nano Mission. Okay. So these are the topics we are going to discuss. Let's start with the basics. See, the concept of nanotechnology originated from a phrase used by a very famous physicist known as Richard Feynman. Richard Feynman used a phrase that there is plenty of space at the bottom. Now, what does that mean? Plenty of space at the bottom. By that, Mr. Feynman was trying to say that we are using matter at macro scale. This is macro scale. If we start using the same matter at the fundamental scale, fundamental means the atoms and the molecules, then two things will happen. We can use the same matter in more ways. We'll have more options to use the same material, and the properties of the product will also be different. So these properties of this product will be completely different from the properties of the product when we are manipulating the matter at the fundamental scale. But Richard Feynman never used the term nanotechnology. So what do you mean by this thing of properties of the product will be fundamentally different? Let me give you one example of gold. See, gold at macro scale we know two things: its color and it is a noble metal. But if we convert the same gold into nanoparticles, what will happen? That those nanoparticles initially will be red in color, and as you reduce the size of those particles, they will become bluish. Okay, that's one thing which will change. Another thing which is going to change in them is that gold nanoparticles are one of the most reactive species you will come across. But Richard Feynman never used the term nanotechnology. The term nanotechnology was used by a Japanese Norio Taniguchi. Okay, Noriotaniguchi, Norio Taniguchi. And what is the criteria for nano product? Say if this is nano pen, it has two dimensions, the length and the diameter. At least one of the two dimensions should be in the range 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. So either the length or the diameter should be in the range of 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. If that is fulfilled, then you have nano product with you. Okay, fine. Now in nanotechnology, basically we have two approaches: top down and bottom up. That's what I said, approaches. Top down and bottom up means, like say for example, I am reducing the size of this object. So when you are reducing the size of this object, that is called top down. At one point of time you need to stop. You cannot go beyond a certain limit, because laws of physics will stop you. Bottom up means layer by layer, atom by atom. That is what we call as bottom up approach. Okay. Nanotechnology basically is known as future renaissance. Renaissance means revolution. Okay. So in what sense it is called renaissance or the revolution? Because it is bringing highly diverse disciplines on the common platform. What do you mean by diverse disciplines? Basically, nanotechnology is interdisciplinary in nature. It is bringing physics, chemistry, mathematics, biotechnology, computer science all together. And when you are going to have the convergences of so many subjects, you are bound to develop new types of technologies which are much better than the current technologies we have. Is that in that sense it is called future renaissance or future revolution. Is that clear? Okay. Now, that is why nanotechnology is one of the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution. Now, fourth industrial revolution, this term was used by none other than Klaus Schwab. So, Industry 4.0, the term was used by clause show up. Okay. What is the meaning of fourth industrial revolution? See, in the fourth industrial revolution is nothing but the convergence of physical, biological and digital. So, physical, biological and digital, if this convergence takes place, that is what we call as fourth industrial revolution. Now, what do you mean by convergence? Take autonomous vehicles, take autonomous robot, this is vehicle, this is robot, then take this thing, 3D printing, then take smart materials. This is all physics, physical part. Autonomous vehicle requires artificial intelligence, convergence of physical and digital. Autonomous robots requires artificial intelligence, convergence of physical and digital. 3D printing requires software, convergence of physical and digital. Besides that, it will also have Internet of Things, it will also have augmented reality, virtual reality and cloud computing. These are all the dimensions of digital. Okay, so this convergence takes place. What about biological genomics? The last class I discussed with you, what? That we will be making that genomics available online. Okay, so genomics plus cloud computing. Then bioprinting. Bioprinting means using 3D printing to develop human organ. Yes, human organ, biology. Using 3D printing, physical. And that requires what? Requires software, digital. So, convergence of physical, biological, digital. Neurotechnology. Neurotechnology means where you are going for bionics. Bionics means artificial system working like a living system. Okay, so bionics means when an artificial system is working like a living system. That's what we call as bionics. Okay, fine. Now the question will be like what all we are doing to promote artificial intelligence and all that. Okay, see, for artificial intelligence promotion, we have obviously two initiatives being taken by the government. One is the Kamakoti panel was appointed by the Ministry of Commerce, and the other being the Niti Aayog research paper. So, for artificial intelligence, we have Kamakoti panel. Now, Kamakoti panel was appointed by Ministry of Commerce, and the Kamakoti panel was given 3 questions by the government. What should be the role of the government? How we can improve the quality of life of the citizens by using artificial intelligence, and how can we create jobs by using artificial intelligence. So, Mr. Kamakoti recommended, sir, very easy, create National Artificial Intelligence Mission with a corpus of 1200 crore for a period of 5 years, and it should be interministerial in nature. Okay. Then Mr. Kamakoti has recommended that, sir, we should create centers of excellence. Centers of excellence for the training of the individuals. Okay. Then he has suggested 10 areas where jobs can be created by using artificial intelligence, like agriculture, food processing, manufacturing, education, healthcare, public utility services, okay, etc., etc. So, these are some of the recommendations by the Kamakoti panel. Then the next one is the Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog has given a research paper, how to promote artificial intelligence. This research paper was based on the theme #AI for all. AI for all means taking artificial intelligence to the masses. Okay. And Niti Aayog has already recommended 5 areas where we can use artificial intelligence to create jobs. That is the smart cities, smart mobility, education, healthcare, and then obviously agriculture. Okay. Now, in case of healthcare, Niti Aayog has come up with the concept called imaging biobank. What is imaging biobank? Imaging biobank is Niti Aayog has gone for collecting the images of those people who have been successfully treated of cancer, and that database is being created so that in future this database can be used as a reference for the treatment of the patients coming with the cancer. Okay, Niti Aayog has recommended 5-pronged strategy for promoting artificial intelligence. First point they have suggested is, okay, have the institutes. So they have suggested 2 types of institutes: core centers of research excellence, and second, International Center for Transformational Artificial Intelligence. Transformational. This one is for basic, this one is for applied. Now, how to attract the best of the minds in the institutes? Go for scholarships. Obviously, then protect the IPR. Third, assess the changing nature of the jobs. Reskill and upskill. Reskill and upskill the people means provide them the training. This is a 5-pronged strategy which has been suggested by Niti Aayog for promoting artificial intelligence. This is a Kamakoti panel. Besides that, for 4th industrial revolution, this was artificial intelligence. For industry 4.0, we have Nano Mission, Digital India we have, quantum computing initiative has also been taken. These are some of the steps which have been taken recently to promote 4th industrial revolution. Okay, fine. Now after that, after discussing industry 4.0, next destination is the graphene and carbon nanotube. Graphene and carbon nanotube. See, graphene, there is a word called graphite. Graphite is one of the allotropes of carbon. And what is allotrope? Having the same chemical properties but different physical properties. That is what we call as allotrope. One of the allotropes of carbon is graphite. Graphite. In graphite, carbon atoms are arranged like this. This is the arrangement of the carbon atoms in graphite. Okay, in graphite. This is one layer of carbon atom, then there is another layer, then another layer, another layer, another layer, another layer. Thousands of layers of carbon atoms like this give a 3-dimensional structure, and that 3-dimensional structure we call as graphite. So the difference between graphite and graphene, graphene is a single layered arrangement of carbon atoms like this, single layered. Whereas graphite is multi-layered. Graphene is one of the lightest, strongest and the most conducting material known to the mankind. No, there are substances lighter, there are substances stronger, there are substances better conductor, but you don't find all 3 in one. That's why graphene is called a wonder material. Graphene is used in carbon nanotubes, and carbon nanotubes are used in composites. Composites means where 2 or more materials are mixed to have a material with new properties. That is what we call as composites. Composites are those where their weight to strength ratio is extremely low. Weight to strength means low, means they are extremely light and extremely strong. Okay, composites are being used, like say for example, there is a body under Department of Science and Technology called TIFAC. Now TIFAC is having 26 mission mode projects to have 26 different composites. And the same body, Department of Science and Technology, is having Nano Mission program, which says materials, material development. Now this is the material development. Got the linkage? Okay, so composites we are working upon. Carbon nanotubes are used in nanosensors. These nanosensors are extremely sensitive towards the change in their environment. Carbon nanotubes are used in nanosatellites. Carbon nanotubes are used in RO systems to convert oceanic water into soft, potable drinking water. These are the applications of the carbon nanotube. Graphene is used in nanotransistor. Nanotransistors are used for nanoelectronics. Graphene is used in touch screen, LEDs, OLEDs. It is used in ultra capacitors to store the electricity and all. So these are the applications of graphene. This is carbon nanotube. Just one more and one more and then one more. Then there is obviously next topic which I am going to discuss with you is nanoethics. Now nanoethics is a very interesting concept. If you see nowadays, you see a lot of ads where silver nanoparticles are used in a deodorant, okay, where silver nanoparticles are used in socks. So the question is, what is the role of silver nanoparticle in that socks or in that deodorant? Actually, the thing is, human sweat by nature is not foul smelling. But what happens when there are organic compounds in the human sweat? And when those organic compounds are decomposed by the bacteria, there is foul smell. So what these silver nanoparticles do, in case of deodorant and socks, they kill the bacteria. And once the bacteria is killed, the story is over. As simple as this. So what? Obviously, in that case, what we do is that we mix nanoparticles, and these nanoparticles then kill the bacteria. So that there is no decomposition. As there is no decomposition, then there will be no foul smell. So it sounds good, but there are many issues in that. Issue number one is that these nanoparticles can kill other types of bacteria, and if other bacteria are also killed, then the natural recycling will be affected. So nanoethics basically is the emergence of ethical issues because of the increased proliferation of the nano products. Increased proliferation of the nano products. Basically, nanoethics talk about social impact of nanotechnology, economic impact of nanotechnology, environmental impact on nanotechnology, health impact on nanotechnology, and warfare related impact. These five put together we call as nanoethics. So let's talk about the environmental part. Environmental part I am already discussing with you. In that case, it's very simple. These nanoparticles will kill the bacteria, and once the bacteria are being killed, obviously recycling will stop. No, another environmental aspect of these nanoparticles is that the nanoparticles in food chain demonstrate food what we call a bioaccumulation or biomagnification. Means in a food chain their concentration will consistently increase from lower consumer towards the higher consumer. Means the higher consumer will have the maximum concentration of these nanoparticles, and once these nanoparticles cross the safe limit, they form free radicals, and the free radicals produced are extremely harmful, and they initiate the changes in the physiology of the cell, and once the cell physiology undergo change, then all sorts of health issues start coming up. So that is another very serious problem associated with that. The inhalation of the carbon nanotubes, which I just discussed, will cause the problem similar to that of silicosis. So will cause the problem what we call as similar to that of silicosis. Got that point? Okay. Now let's move further. What about the social aspect? See, the social aspect of the nanotechnology is that with the help of nanotechnology, extremely powerful monitoring and surveillance instruments are possible. These instruments will be so powerful and so pervasive that you can monitor anywhere from anywhere. That's the problem. Means privacy will be shattered into nanoparticles. I will not call pieces, I will call nanoparticles. Take for example the concept of nano UAV. Nano UAV means a UAV of the size of a mosquito, and if I can place it above the board wherever I am on this planet, okay, I can monitor even if the if people are sitting and writing with a certain brand's pen, and I can even obviously find out which company's pen the teacher is using on this podium. So that will be the level of the penetration. Okay, now parents will also do one thing, they will also buy one nano UAV and put it in the bag without informing you. So all the movements can be tracked very easily with the help of that. So that is social aspect. Then the economy aspect of nanotechnology is, see what happened, certain countries became developed because they had the technology, fine. Now gradually others were catching up, so the gap was reducing. Suddenly came nanotechnology, and barring India and China, all the other countries who have the IPR of nanotechnology are the developed economies. As a result, the gap between the haves and the have-nots will start increasing further. So that's the economic aspect of it. Then another aspect is the warfare aspect. Warfare, with the help of nanotechnology, will have new types of weapons, like say for example autonomous weapons. Now autonomous weapons are absolutely uncalled for. International convention says you cannot have weapons which can operate without human discretion. Reason being, then you cannot fix the accountability. Like say for example Atlas robot of USA, which has been called killer robot, killer, K-I-L-L-E-R, killer robot. Then you have Haroop UAV of USA using the artificial intelligence, isn't it? That is the reason last year many CEOs of the companies have signed a pledge paper that none of them will develop the artificial intelligence which can be used for having the autonomous weapons. But then it's not about the CEOs, it is about the respective countries like US, China, Russia, whether they really want to go for this option or not. For example, Mr. Trump has dropped a hint that obviously once he is done with this re-election process, he might change the law of US, which has prohibited the development of the weapons with artificial intelligence. Now once that happens, then if US is developing it, Russia will develop it, China will develop it. That's what we call as arms race. This is how it all has started, isn't it? So that's the warfare aspect, that's nanoethics for you. Next is 3D printing and the 4D printing. 3D printing. 3D printing is also known as additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing. What we do in 3D printing, we have a computer. In that we have a software known as computer aided manufacturing. So for example, I want to make this pen. So I will draw this pen. This is the diagram. Okay, this is my best drawing skills. Don't comment on them, focus on the concept. Now this software will cut this design into multiple slices like this. Okay, then there is a laser. Laser is coming out and there is a material. This material can be molten polymer, could be metal, could be ceramic. Then this laser will carve out this structure layer by layer, one layer, another layer, another layer, another layer, another layer, and finally you have this structure ready with you. This is called 3D printing. Basically in 3D printing we have three approaches. One is stereolithography. Second, fused deposition modeling. And selective laser sintering. This one, sintering, is used for metals and ceramics, and these two are used for the plastics. Okay, that is what we call as 3D printing. Now 3D printing, the pluses, the positives are cost will come down, quality will go up, you can scale up the manufacturing without additional expenditure. Say if I am making 1 pen today, every day, then I can easily make 3 without any additional expenditure. But if you are running an industry where it was making 100 pens per day and they want to make 300 per day, they need to invest, they need to expand, isn't it? That's what I am saying, scale up. Third one, decentralized manufacturing. Now this pen is manufactured somewhere, but now every household can make this pen. Decentralized manufacturing, but there is one minus. What is that one minus? Job loss will be there. That one minus is a very big minus, because this pen manufacturing gives employment to hundreds of people, and all of them will sit idle once obviously decentralized manufacturing is being done. Got this point? So that is 3D printing for you. Now come to 4D printing. See, 4D printing is very interesting concept. In 4D printing, there is University of Wollongong. Okay. Now, University of Wollongong developed a 3D hydrogel. 3D gel means gel through 3D printing, and this gel will change the shape. With the change in the temperature of water, change the temperature of the water, this gel will change the shape. Bring down the temperature, shape is different. Increase the temperature, shape is different. So 4D printing is when a material developed through 3D printing demonstrates the change in the shape, the texture, in response to voltage, current, and the pressure. That is what we call as 4D printing. Actually, those changes in 4D printing has to be reversible and predictable. So those changes have to be what? Reversible and predictable. So when the changes are reversible and predictable in a 3D printed material in response to temperature, pressure, current, that is what we call as 4D printing. This 4D printing will have application, something called soft robotics. Soft robotic, the example is Octobot, which has been developed by Harvard University, and where the application will be in health care. Okay, that is 3D printing and 4D printing. Next, in nanotechnology, after 3D printing and 4D printing is nanotechnology in healthcare, and here it has 3 applications: neuroplasticity, drug delivery, and third, diagnosis. Okay, neuroplasticity. What is neuroplasticity? Structural changes in brain because of learning. Because of what? Learning, activities, and injuries. Yes, learning means concept formation. Like concept formation, a child is learning how to distinguish between a mobile and a remote. That is concept formation, that is learning. Activities, there is a study on a bus driver and a cab driver in London, and what they found that the hippocampus is that part which is in our forebrain. Hippocampus of a cab driver is larger in size compared to the hippocampus of a bus driver. You will ask a question, why is it so? Answer is very simple. It is because of the reason that the cab driver has to remember more routes than the bus driver. So that's as simple as this. So in that case, hippocampus, but then hippocampus of a cab driver is larger in size. Obviously, that is up to their activities. If someone is drawing the bus, that's their hippocampus will be on the smaller side, but that is of no practical significance. Where we are interested is neuroplasticity because of injuries, and here there is a story, not a story, a study. There was a surgeon and he had a brain stroke. Brain stroke means hemorrhage. Consequently, one part of his body got paralyzed. As a result, what happened that he has some friends, and those friends pushed him to use the paralyzed portion of his body. So at one point of time, he has enough strength in his paralyzed hand that he can hold on to the golf stick. Okay. And when that means there was enough strength in his hands. When they carried out the brain scan, what they found, the damaged portion has not undergone any change. It is the healthy part of the brain which has undergone the change. Okay, now which has undergone the change. So this is where we are interested, where to intervene to minimize the impact of the injuries. This is where we can see the concept of bionics coming into play. Bionics, which is related to prosthetics and orthotics. Prosthetics means artificial limbs, orthotics means artificial exoskeleton. Okay, so that is where we are trying to work out the development of the artificial limbs which can function under the control of the user. That is what we are trying to do as far as this bionics is concerned, neuroplasticity is concerned. That's what I was saying in fourth industrial revolution, neurotechnology. Okay, bionics is the convergence of physical and the biological and the digital, all three will be there. Then drug delivery. For drug delivery, we are using something called targeted drug delivery system and nanoshell. Targeted drug delivery system and nanoshell. Targeted drug delivery system, Dabur was the first company in India to patent this targeted drug delivery system, and India was the first country after US where patent was issued for the targeted drug delivery system. Now here what we do, we have I am discussing targeted drug delivery system. In targeted drug delivery system, what we have is a carrier molecule. This is a carrier molecule like GSLV, and on top of this carrier molecule we place some chemicals. These are chemicals. These chemicals are chosen by keeping one thing in mind, that they will react only with those which are found on the surface of the cancerous tissue. They react with only those, means these T are chemicals, and these chemicals react only with those which are found on the surface of the cancerous tissue. Then we attach it with the drug. This drug is called monoclonal antibody. Okay, then we inject this entire combination in the blood of the patient. As the flow of blood is more towards the site where the cancer is, this entire system is directed towards that, and as these chemicals react with only the chemicals found on the surface of the cancerous tissue, they attaches with them, thereby delivering the drug. That is what we call as targeted drug delivery system. It can be used for cancer treatment and it can be used for gene therapy as well. Gene therapy as well. One more, nanoshell. Nanoshell again for cancer treatment. Here what we took silica particles, and these silica particles were having the diameter of 100 nanometer, and over these silica particles we have a layer of gold being coated, and they were injected in the body of a rat which was having a tumor in the neck region. These nanoshells got concentrated where the tumor was, they got concentrated, and then at the site of the tumor infrareds were directed. These nanoshells absorb the infrared. These nanoshells which are there, they absorb the infrared. As a result, the temperature increased from 38 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius, and this was enough to kill the tumor cells. 7 degrees Celsius was enough to kill the tumor cells. That is what we call as nano shell. Third one is the diagnosis. For diagnosis, there is something called Enos. Enos means electronic nano olfactory sensors. Enos was developed by IIT, Israel Institute of Technology. For what? For the purpose of the diagnosis of the disease. How the diagnosis is done? Basically, Enos is having a silicon chip, and on this silicon chip there are gold nanoparticles. These are gold nanoparticles and attached with a monitor, a screen. The concept involved in Enos is, whenever there is a disease in human body, there are biomarkers which are produced. Biomarkers are chemicals produced in body whenever we have a disease, and for each disease biomarkers are unique, means they are different. So when the patient goes to the doctor asks that patient to release the breath here, and when the patient releases the breath, obviously the biomarker comes out and they stick with these nanoparticles. They get stuck to these nanoparticles. The moment these biomarkers will get stuck to these nanoparticles, this screen will show a certain reading like 436. For each biomarker, this reading is unique. So on the basis of that unique reading, biomarker is identified, and on the basis of the biomarker, the disease is diagnosed. These are the applications of nanotechnology in healthcare. You will not get a direct question here. You have to use this information somewhere. That is up to your creativity, and that is up to your skills, how you are going to use it. Then obviously the next small topic here, generations of nanoproduct. See, in nanoproduct we have 4 generations, and these generations are decided on the basis of 2 criteria: how complex the product is and what is the degree of interaction. Degree of interaction and the complexity of the product. First generation, simple nanoparticles. Just told you nanoethics, they will kill the microbes. So it's not they do not interact, they do interact. Second generation, targeted drug delivery system, just told you they will be used for cancer treatment and gene therapy. It is still there. Third generation nanoproduct, nanobot, also known as nano robot. This is where the research is going on, research and development. So we are right now here. Where they will be used? Probably they will be used in healthcare. Fourth generation nanoproduct, they will be modeled on a living system. Now the question here is which particular feature of living system they are going to copy. Nobody knows about it. Okay, so that's where there is a question mark. It could be anything. One more topic. Nano Mission. Actually, Nano Mission is under Department of Science and Technology, where there is a Nano Mission Council. The first phase of this program was from 2007 to 2012. Second phase was from 2012 to 17. This program proposed to make India a knowledge hub. Okay. Second, to create centers of excellence. Third, to develop the materials to contribute in national development. This is where you can link with that TIFAC program for 26 different types of composites. Okay, thank you. Wish you all the best for your exam. Okay. And this is my contact number. If you need anything related to the topics which I have discussed, you just drop me a message here. Okay, thank you.